Why are there so many people living paycheck to paycheck? Yet we are taught that in order to escape being broke, we need to simply earn more. So we either climb the ladder within a company, find another high-paying job, irresponsibly gamble to make fast money, or they pursue higher education to land that six-figure paying job, but somehow still end up having debt or living paycheck to paycheck. And for some who are even fortunate enough to make a jump to the top 1% of earners, are still not immune to this problem.
They got the Ferrari and many more cars and a Learjet and mansions. In 1 year, Edward said he spent $12 million. He ultimately lost all his money, filed for divorce from Shauna, and died in hospice care 2 years ago.
Some people think that if they just had more, they'll be okay. If they were just given $10,000 or even $100,000, even $1 million, all their problems would be solved. And as soon as they get what they wish for, they end up right back where they were. Think of a person that weighs 500 pounds. Imagine tomorrow they lost all the weight and they only weighed 150 pounds. Given the lifestyle that they're used to, they would easily jump right back up to 500 pounds. But what if I told you this doesn't have to be you? Instead of letting money consume you and your possessions own you, you can make it work for you. It's already a given that if you want more, you need to earn more. But a common theme for people who feel trapped in an endless cycle to keep up a lifestyle they don't care for, you've probably guessed that it's simply their spending habits. Now, this video isn't to tell you what you can and can't spend your money on. Everybody comes from different circumstances and has their own path to fulfillment. And there are many factors as to why people are in their circumstances, and for many, it's not their fault. This video is simply to emphasize the dangers of careless spending. So what's the cause of these spending habits? We can start by looking at where we get our products from. Large companies spend billions on marketing to be able to sell you products and services, and they've become so good at what they do that almost every ad you see online is tailored to your interests. They can track what you watch, what you like to eat, and what products you like to buy. They basically know some of you better than you know yourself. And we can't deny that the uprise in social media has played an influence. To the popularity of flexing, to public figures with millions of followers that display a luxurious lifestyle, and pressure from peers to keep up an image. Although these big companies are really good at what they do, the blame just cannot be put on them. I mean, it'd be like me getting mad at McDonald's for being obese. So the problem at hand lies within the choices we make and having our values in the wrong areas. Tim Kasser, a professor of psychology at Knox College in Galesburg, Illinois, defines a materialistic person as someone who has values who put a relatively high priority on making a lot of money and having many possessions, as well as on image and popularity, which are almost always expressed via money and possessions. Clinical psychologist Dr. Scott B. says dopamine is released even before you make a purchase, imagining the possibilities with the item. It's about the whole journey. And for some, they distract themselves from problems they may have in their life, which you might also know as retail therapy. Another way of getting instant gratification, having to constantly buy new things that most likely gives you short-term excitement. So what can we do? What needs to change? You need to get real with yourself and don't BS yourself. Think back to your past and remember the things that you regret buying. You can even look around your room, how many times you ate outside, maybe a brand new car that didn't need to be brand new. Learn from your past purchases that you regret buying and make it easier for yourself to make future decisions. Develop your own spending philosophy. Think of your standards for a romantic partner. They need to be kind, be smart, have a sense of humor, and if they don't meet my requirements, I look elsewhere. Well, the same idea can be thought when spending on items. Is this a necessity? Is this something I can live without? Have I covered my debts, expenses, retirement fund, savings? Even a simple standard of saying, if I can't buy this 10 times, I can't afford it, which is much better than buying something just because of how bad you want it. Define how you value money. Most people will say that the value of money is simply just the amount that it is. $10 is 10, 100 is 100. A different perspective to think of is instead of buying this bag, this could be another week's worth of food, maybe rent. For example, say you have enough money to buy a $500 pair of shoes, but if you're working a minimum wage job, $10 an hour, it costs you 50 hours of work. Is that worth it to you? Or, I have $500, what if I invest it and maybe 10 years from now I can buy 100 of these instead of just buying one today? Your spending habits are an extension of your character.
Everybody's caught up in image and looking a certain way and being rich. It's me. It's pointless. In society, we always need validation and acceptance from others. They think the cure and the fix for the problem is, well, give me more money, I'm gonna be all right. But the more you make, the more you spend.
Right.
If you have no discipline and no structure. We are caught up in looking a certain way, living a certain way, trying to appease others who don't really care nothing about you, just to say, oh, I got it. Put me on Spirit. exit row, window seat. That's all I need. Long as I get from point A to point B. I don't need private. Dude, I shop at H&M. Look, this whole outfit, this cost me $60. It's Urban Outfitters. And it's from the sale rack.
What will fulfill you? Is it a house, better relationships with the people in your life, learning new skills, or develop projects that you're passionate about? You need to get to know yourself in a sense that what will truly fulfill you and what values are important to you. That way you can better define what's going to be necessary to fulfill you in this life. For some, it may be that dream car that they were dreaming about when they were a kid, and for others, it may be a skill that they've always wanted to learn. Whatever it is, it's better to define it. That way you know what will be unnecessary to buy. I believe that once you have your standards for how you spend your own money, you'll make wiser choices for how you use it. Anytime we try to change habits, it always takes practice. And just remember to not let money and possessions consume you. Really learn to look deep in yourself and find out what is really going to fulfill you in this life. We tend to look for happiness in things that society glamorizes and promises, when in reality, the answer has always been right there in your own reflection.